Good evening, everyone. Welcome to APTI PLUS Academy. So first of all, many congratulations to all of you for clearing the OPSC OAS mains. Now, this is the final hurdle before you achieve success. Okay. So now, what is the purpose of this particular session? Can someone please tell me why there is focus on these government schemes? Why should be aware of the recent Odisha government schemes? Can someone please give answer in one line?
Because there is a change in government. So
Change in government. So yeah, I would say it is a correct answer. Partially, can someone rephrase it in better terms? Yes. Now, because I am asking this because a question can be expected. See, most of the questions that would be asked in your interview, they would be analytical in nature. ठीक है. So you should be aware कि एक background आपको पता होना चाहिए why we are discussing something. ठीक है. So because the present regime, they are rebranding the previous regime's schemes. Okay, so the rebranding is the term. You must have read articles, especially on this particular issue, that the present government in Odisha, it has rebranded almost 40 schemes. ठीक है, तो उस पर डिस्कशन करेंगे towards the end of the session. First of all, now let me tell you how will I go along. ठीक है, so I have kept the budget that was in July 2024, that has the reference. On the basis of that, I have segregated the schemes. For example, for agricultural sector, for health sector, social sector, and so on. So we will be discussing the important schemes, just the important schemes. My purpose through this session, because the session is going to be very short, around 1.5 hours. So our purpose would be that we are able to decipher that how to read deeply through the schemes. My purpose is not that I will be teaching you the factual details of the schemes, that you can read your own also. My purpose is कि किस type के questions आपसे पूछे जा सकते हैं और उनको कैसे handle करना है. ठीक है, so that you have to learn through this particular session. So let's start now with the agricultural and the allied sector your activities. So this table you must have seen in the budget also. So this will be our reference table. Now, if you see the total outlay is 33,919 crore. Okay. Out of this, the maximum has been allocated to a scheme by the name of Smrit Krishak Yojana. Now, can someone please tell me what is the objective of this scheme? Yes. In just one line. See, in the interview, in your interviews, the answers have to be very crisp. आपको वहां पर अपने मेंस की तरह एक इंट्रोडक्शन बॉडी कंक्लूजन फॉर्मेट में शुरू नहीं कर देना. यू हैव टू बी वेरी क्रिस्प, यू हैव टू बी टू द पॉइंट. सो प्लीज टेल मी इन वन लाइन. सो व्हाट कुड बी द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ दिस स्कीम? Yes. No one? See? Yes.
To help farmers, sir, to help the farmers, sir, to the farmers, sir, for that they can develop.
Yeah. So the purpose of this scheme is to provide the paddy farmers, your rice farmers, they will be, the government will directly procure the paddy from the farmers at a fixed price of rupees 3,100 per quintal. Right. Now, here what you should be aware of, that this particular scheme has been allocated 5,000 crores. It is much more than if you compare with other schemes. There are other important schemes like Shri Anna Abhiyan, etc. So it is almost 7 times, 8 times of that. So why so much allocation to this particular scheme? First thing. Second thing you should be aware of, are other states or is the center providing such initiative? Can someone please tell me which initiatives, which schemes cater to direct procurement at the central level? Yes. कौन सी schemes हैं जो center जिसमें direct procure करता है? And why this particular scheme has to be read in depth? Yes. What is MSP? Yes. So MSP, see, you have to participate. ठीक है, participation करने के important है, because then only you will learn the art of answering in your interview. ठीक है, so side by side हम उसको भी cater कर रहे हैं. See, now the MSP issue is in the news continuously. ठीक है। अब आपको ये भी पता है कि एट द सेंट्रल लेवल देयर इज अ डायरेक्ट प्रोक्योरमेंट स्कीम आल्सो। फॉर एग्जांपल वी हैव योर प्राइस स्टेबलाइजेशन स्कीम। ठीक है, तो एंड देयर आर स्टेट्स, फॉर एग्जांपल हरियाणा, वेयर देयर इज डायरेक्ट प्रोक्योरमेंट ऑफ योर राइस और पैडी। ठीक है, तो ये वाला ऐसा कुछ नया नहीं प्रोवाइड हो रहा है यहाँ पे। ठीक है, स्टिल 5,000 crore is being allocated. So, and one more thing you have to understand that you will not be criticizing your government directly. ठीक है, अभी हमारी टोन ऐसी हो सकती है जब मैं आपके साथ डिस्कस कर रहा हूं that you might feel that I am going little bit I am criticizing the government, but when you are answering the board during the interview, during the interview process, you won't be criticizing your government. Please keep this thing in your mind. So your answer would be diplomatic in nature. ठीक है, तो व्हेन आई एम सेइंग डू अ क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस ऑफ दिस स्कीम, सो यू हैव टू डू अ क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ फैक्ट्स. यू विल बी कंपेयरिंग इट विद योर सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स एंड द स्कीम्स ऑफ अदर स्टेट्स. ठीक है, दिस इज हाउ यू विल बी अप्रोचिंग दिस पर्टिकुलर स्कीम. नाउ सेकंड इज योर सीएम किसान स्कीम. सीएम किसान, सो कैन समवन प्लीज टेल मी ये कौन सी स्कीम का रीब्रांड है?
सर कालिया योजना।
कालिया
योजना का।
यस नफीसा, यू सेड समथिंग.
और सर वही कालिया योजना सर।
Kalia Yojana. Yes, it is a rebranding of the Kalia Yojana. Now, can someone please tell me which scheme came first, the Kalia scheme or the PM Kisan scheme?
Sir, the Kalia scheme.
So, okay. And PM Kisan scheme it was on the basis, when the central government launched this PM Kisan scheme, it was on the basis of which scheme? Which state scheme it was launched? Was it on the basis of Kalia scheme or some other scheme?
Right to Bandhu, sir.
Yes, correct. So these kind of factual questions, counter questions, the board can ask you. So be prepared for them. ठीक है, कि अभी आपको पता है कि कालिया स्कीम केम इन 2018. ठीक है, योर पीएम किसान केम इन 2019. Now this particular CM Kisan, it has been launched this year by the present regime. Now can someone please tell me whether this Kalia scheme was ongoing simultaneously with your PM Kisan scheme, or was it a separate entity? Yes. Were they both merged with each other, or they were going simultaneously? They were separate entities. Is my question clear to you people? For example, I am a beneficiary, I am a farmer. Whether I will get the benefits of only PM Kisan, or will I get also the benefits of Kalia scheme?
Both, sir. Both, sir.
Schemes. Okay. So you mean to say, for example, if the PM Kisan is providing me rupees 6,000, so and I have land. Consider this scenario that I have land, I am not a landless farmer. So I will be getting that 4,000 per year from your Kalia scheme also. So I will be getting 10,000 rupees.
No, sir. For CM Kisan, the landless farmer will get 12,500 rupees.
That is a separate thing. I am I have land. Say I have 2 hectares of land. So whether I would be getting only 6,000 rupees or 4,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees, that is my question.
10,000 rupees, sir. 10,000.
So yeah, so both the schemes, the beneficiaries would get the benefit of both the schemes. So this is how the Kalia scheme was going on. Okay, earlier the amount was rupees 5,000, but later it was reduced so that it is in accordance with the PM Kisan. So it was reduced to 4,000 rupees. So I am assuming that you must be aware of these things. Now the BJP government, it has rebranded this particular Kalia scheme, and now it is known as the CM Kisan scheme. Now what is the difference between CM Kisan and Kalia scheme? Can someone please tell me? What is the difference? How is it different from the Kalia scheme? Yes. See, these kind of questions will be asked in your interview. ठीक है, आपको स्ट्रेस में डाल के रैंडम क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाएंगे. ठीक है ना, राइट नाउ आई एम ओनली टेकिंग फैक्चुअल एस्पेक्ट्स, बट your board members, they can also move towards analytical aspects also. We will take those analytical aspects towards the later half of the class. But right now, please tell me what is the difference between CM Kisan and your Kisan this Kalia scheme. Yes.
Sir, can I guess, sir?
Okay. But
Sir,
during the interview, do not ask the board panel that, sir, can I guess? Okay, so that wouldn't be a right thing. Okay, so you can straight away, if you are not comfortable, if you are not confident, straight away, tell sir, sorry, sir, I am not able to recall right now. Okay, yeah, I am not aware of this aspect. Okay, so do not bluff.
okay,
Do not
sir.
bluff in the interview. Yes.
Actually, in Kalia scheme, sir, some of the farmers who were landless were
Yes.
earlier not included in the scheme. They can be
Yeah.
availed the CM Kisan scheme, and
Yeah.
the duration of Kalia scheme was only 3 years. But CM Kisan, there is the period of 5 years. They have decided for this CM Kisan, and and also the farmers having agricultural land also somehow due to their ration card, due to not having the ration card, they were not included in Kalia scheme. But in CM Kisan, they are now preparing to include the agriculture
Yes.
farmers land.
So basically, see, whenever you are not aware of the details, आप थोड़ा लॉजिकल भी सोच के देखो कि अगर कोई नई स्कीम आ रही है, फॉर एग्जांपल द प्रीवियस गवर्नमेंट हैड द कालिया स्कीम, अब नई गवर्नमेंट आई है, तो ऑब्वियसली वो नंबर ऑफ बेनिफिशियरीज को रिड्यूस तो करेंगे नहीं. ठीक है, सो इट वाज एन रिसेंटली इलेक्शंस वर हेल्ड, न्यू गवर्नमेंट आई है, तो ऑब्वियसली वो कुछ अगर पहले एक्स मिल रहा था वो एक्स प्लस समथिंग देंगे. ठीक है, तो ऑब्वियसली द नंबर ऑफ बेनिफिशियरीज वुड इंक्रीज नाउ. ठीक है, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट कि फाइनेंशियल बर्डन कितना रहेगा, वो सब चीजें अगर फॉर एग्जांपल आपको पता ही नहीं है, बट स्टिल यू कैन से द नंबर ऑफ बेनिफिशियरीज वुड इंक्रीज. एंड नाउ द पर्पस ऑफ दिस स्कीम वाज टू बेसिकली अलाइन इट विद द पीएम किसान स्कीम. जो पीएम किसान में जो आपके फार्मर्स एक्सेट्रा रह गए थे, दोज हु वर एक्सक्लूडेड, दे विल बी इंक्लूडेड नाउ इन दिस सीएम किसान योजना. ठीक है, तो ऐसे आपको ये थॉट प्रोसेस रखना है. Right. Now coming to this much details, the factual details, you can read through the documents that I will be sharing with you after the class. Okay, every aspect, the features of the scheme, when the payments would be done, etc. Those are mentioned there. So no need to worry about that. Right now, your purpose should be to analyze things and to compare things. Next is your Shri Anna Abhiyan. ठीक है, and please note this CM Kisan scheme, this is basically you are cash transferring to the beneficiaries. So be prepared for counter question that is these type of schemes, be it PM Kisan, be it Ritu Bandhu, be it the Kalia schemes, are they beneficial in the long run? ठीक है, for example, earlier someone said that the particular scheme was only for 3 years. ठीक है, now are these if we keep repeating these payments, say rupees 6,000 rupees per year, ठीक है, are these beneficial in the long run to the exchequer also, to the farmers also? So be prepared for these kind of questions as well. Next is your Shri Anna Abhiyan. Now, can someone please tell me what is the basic objective of this Shri Anna Abhiyan and what was it called in the previous regime? Yes.
Sir, previously it was called as Odisha Millet Mission.
Yeah.
Now, after changing of government, they changed it to Sri Anna Yojana.
So Shri Anna Yojana or your Odisha Millet Mission, it was launched in the year 2017. Okay. Now, what was the purpose? In one line, the purpose was to revive, number one, millets in the agriculture. ठीक है, आपका फोकस दूसरे क्रॉप्स पे ज्यादा है, पैडी हुआ, ठीक है, तो उनको क्रॉप्स पे ज्यादा रहता है. Millets were being ignored. To revive those millets in the agriculture, that was the first purpose. Second, to incorporate these millets in the dietary habits of the people, especially your tribal population, because these millets, they are very helpful, they are nutritional. Okay, so to this revive these millets in agriculture and the dietary habits of the people, especially your tribals, this particular scheme was launched in 2017. Now, what you must be aware of in this particular initiative is, first, what are the features? Now, under features, you must be aware of what is the unit of implementation. For example, the block as the unit is taken. Second, you must be aware of four broad aspects this particular scheme caters to, that it relates to promoting household consumption. Under that, awareness programs, then competition, etc. organized. Second, decentralization processing facilities would be set up. Okay. Once the crops are grown, they have to be processed for that particular thing at cluster level. So there would be decentralized processing facilities. Then to increase the productivity of the millet crops, the farmers, they would be made aware of improved agronomic practices. They would be made aware of important seeds which have higher productivity. They would be made aware of diverse farming practice techniques. So all these things would be covered under this initiative. Then there would be custom hiring centers as well. What are custom hiring centers? Where these would be set up at your gram panchayat level, right? So there the farm equipments, the farmers can get these farm equipments from these centers. For example, your weed out mechanisms, your reduction tools, pump sets, etc. Those would be provided at these hiring centers. Now, these are the basic features of the scheme. Now, can someone please tell me, I have told you the features. If we compare it with the central government scheme, do we have a central government scheme on millets? First of all, I want to know this. Do we have a central government scheme? Yes. Yes. See, these kind of things for each and every scheme that I am discussing. So please make a note that you have to read the relevant central government scheme as well. So we have a mission at the central level also. Okay. Yes. Someone is saying something.
The National
Sir,
Millet.
Yes. So now your task would be to compare the two. Okay. Now we have at the central level also we are having a millet mission. So why a need for a mission, millet mission at the state level? Yes. Can someone please answer these questions? Consider that I am a board member. I am asking you that we have a central level mission. Okay. The mission that was launched before this, your state level mission, your Odisha millet mission. Okay, Odisha millet mission came in 2017. I think the millet mission at the central level was in 2015. Okay, so why the need? Okay, similarly, we had PM Kisan. Why the need to have CM Kisan or Kalia scheme? Yes, can someone please answer this? If the central government is provided a scheme, okay, why the need to have a state relevant scheme for that particular feature? Yes.
Sir, mainly, sir, there will be a decentralization of power, and secondly, the reaching the last mile. Mainly, millets were grown in the tribal areas, and
That I get, but that is more related to your implementation aspect. See, the scheme already has certain features. Okay. For example, your national scheme, national mission, it has features. So the Odisha government can straight away go for their effective implementation. They can release guidelines related to implementation at the last mile level. Why to go for a new scheme altogether? Yes. And this question becomes more relevant. For example, in CM Kisan, you can straight away say that there were certain beneficiaries who were excluded. Okay, you can straight away say that. But here, what is the purpose? Here, there are no. Yes, Arpita raised her hand. Yes, Arpita.
Sir, according to SK Mohanty report, the regional disparity in Odisha mainly because of the copying of central level schemes in the ground level, sir. So that can be cited as one reason for this. And
Okay.
apart from this, sir, we need to capacity building rather than simply just implement the government schemes at the ground level. So, and apart from that, sir, the Western Odisha are also marred by the drought, and millet is millet can be grown in drought
that
prone
I
region
get.
also, sir.
That I get. Now see, when you see the National Millet Mission, जो आपका सेंट्रल लेवल वाला मिशन है, so you will find out that जैसे जो अभी मैंने फीचर्स आपके साथ डिस्कस किए हैं, I discussed that there would be household level consumption under which competition etc would be organized etc. So these details are not outlined in that particular mission. ठीक है, जो आपने अभी फीचर्स देखे हैं, इफ यू विजिट द श्री अन्ना अभियान वेबसाइट, यू विल सी द डिटेल इन विच ईच एंड एवरी पर्टिकुलर फीचर हैज बीन मेंशन्ड. ठीक है, तो जैसे आपने अब नाउ दैट विल बी टोटली नाउ प्ले ऑफ वर्ड्स. ठीक है, तो जब आप अपना ओडिशा गवर्नमेंट की स्कीम के बारे में बात करोगे, ठीक है, एंड प्लीज रिमेंबर वेन एवर यू आर आंसरिंग समथिंग यू आर रिप्रेजेंटिंग ओडिशा गवर्नमेंट. ठीक है, बिकॉज यू विल बी गिविंग अ ओपीएससी इंटरव्यू. ठीक है, सो यू हैव टू स्पीक लाइक यू आर अ स्पोक्स पर्सन ऑफ द ओडिशा गवर्नमेंट. तो जब आप मेंशन करोगे तो यू विल मेंशन, just a moment Pritish, so you will mention that the details in which the features everything has been elaborated upon that is missing in the national mission. ठीक है, प्लस देन यू कैन मेंशन द कंटेक्स्ट स्पेसिफिसिटी. जैसे अभी आपने बोला कि सर वेस्टर्न ओडिशा में ये इश्यूज हैं एंड सो फोर्थ, तो वो सब चीजें मेंशन कर सकते हो. बट द डिटेल्स दैट यू हैव टू टच अपॉन व्हाइल यू आंसरिंग दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन. यस प्रीतिश, यू वर सेइंग समथिंग.
So yes, I was just saying why a state level scheme is necessary when there is already a central level.
हाँ, so yes, please answer if you have some other ideas
No, I
to
was
share.
just saying this. A central level scheme is actually made for all the states. That is like one size fits all purpose. But
Okay.
in a state level scheme, it is mostly like a state can already understand what is its condition, particularly at ground level.
Yeah.
Second thing that you have said, all those beneficiaries which are left behind in case of a central level scheme, they can be included in those
Yeah.
state levels.
Yeah.
So
ठीक है,
that's my answer.
तो yeah, it is correct answer Pritish, but please remember, so whenever you are answering on in these lines, so remember there might be certain schemes, ठीक है, there might be certain schemes under the central government which are very detailed, ठीक है. तो you cannot say that all the schemes, all the government schemes, they are of one size fits all type. ठीक है, don't make generalized statements there. Yes, yes, one more student of this
Sir,
yes.
I want to add another point that in
Uh-huh.
Odisha level there are different tribal area where
Yeah.
different kind of millets are grown, like finger millet and
Yes. So
ragi,
that will come
mandi, and
under the
other millet.
category context specific. ठीक है,
Yeah,
वो वहां
yeah.
पे आ जाएगा. ठीक है, now
And
so to
according
get
to the agroclimatic zone also, we can specify the millet cultivation. That's why state-specific plan are necessary.
yeah, correct. ठीक है, so you have to think on these lines. Right. So this is why first you need to know the features of the initiative, the scheme. Then you need to know the features of your central government scheme or other state scheme. And then you can make your comments on the basis of that. Now, next scheme, one more question is there. Just a moment. Yes. So Akanksha has written that the central scheme, it provides an overarching framework. Also, the agricultural being a state subject, the state should get more powers to modify this framework. See, Akanksha, I totally agree with you. But the more you will bring these aspects that agriculture is a state subject. Okay, so be prepared for counter questions. I did not touch these aspects because then the board member will straight away ask you, then why is government, the central government, making schemes? Why PM Kisan then? If they can straight away direct the states that you have to bring this particular type of scheme. ठीक है, क्यों लेके आती है? This means these are politically motivated schemes. So be prepared for those counter questions. ठीक है, I did not touch that particular aspect intentionally. ठीक है, so now coming to we have discussed now this reward project. Now what is this reward project? Yes. See, these schemes, they are of earlier years. These weren't introduced in this particular budget. Reward project, it is a well-known, even the UPSC aspirants read about this particular project. So yes, can someone please tell me the
So it's for
objective in this
watershed
one?
development,
Yes,
like it's
watershed development.
implemented in Karnataka and Odisha with the
Yeah.
help of World Bank.
Correct, correct, correct. So there is nothing to discuss here. Just in brief, you should be aware of. Right. Now, next is the Odisha Matsya Mission. So now please tell me, in the previous government, what was the name of a scheme related to this? The scheme was launched in 2023 in the previous BJD regime. What was the name of the scheme? So I am giving you an idea. So whenever there is a scheme, see this particular table, it was in your budget document. So I took only this particular table. Now I am picking one scheme. Then I'm asking you what was the scheme's name did in the previous regime. What is the central level comparison to that particular scheme? ठीक है, तो ये चीजें आपको हर एक की स्कीम के लिए पता होनी चाहिए. So what was the name? So the name was मुख्यमंत्री मत्स्य बीज कल्याण योजना. ठीक है, so it was launched in 2023 only. ठीक है, where the objective was to that it would benefit especially your fish farmers and the women self help groups. तो हमारा focus उसके ऊपर था. ठीक है, so the livelihood support would be provided to the fishermen and the women SHGs, they would be strengthened. Now this Odisha Matsya Mission. So here the focus would be on increasing the fish production. The targets would be set up, say, for 5,000 MT per year. Okay. So by 2030, if you now there is one more document that you can refer to here. In certain schemes, the details have not been mentioned. For that, you can refer to your this present regime's manifesto document. Okay. In that particular manifesto document, all these schemes they had mentioned that we will be introducing them one by one. So if someone wants to read in detail why they introduced this particular scheme, so that particular document can also be referred to, right? So this now Odisha Matsya Mission, the target is more inclined towards increasing the this fish production. Now I want to ask you that last year only this particular scheme was launched and around 450 crore rupees were allocated to this scheme. ठीक है, to this Mukhyamantri Matsya Bij Kalyan Yojana. Now the government comes, the present government comes and it brings a new initiative by the name of this Matsya Mission. Now please tell me that you are now this is a case-based scenario. You are a civil servant. Now, how do you cope with such kind of I mean to say earlier the implementation challenges were different. Now the implementation challenges would be different. You did certain advertisement, you printed the banners, you brought about certain government programs for advertisement, etc. for Mukhyamantri Matsya Bij Kalyan Yojana. Now you have brought this new initiative. Now you have to do everything from the scratch again. So how will you handle such kind of situations as being a civil servant? Yes. I hope my question is clear to everyone. Okay, and this is valid for all other schemes which have been rebranded. That in say 2 months ago, so there was a scheme by the name of XYZ. Okay, so you printed the banners, you were doing advertisement, etc., etc. You were making the people aware of that particular scheme. Now new government comes, they change the name to ABC, they change the features of the scheme. Now you have to start from the scratch again. So how will you cope in this particular situation? Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. No one.
Sir, I want to know whether to answer this question from an ethics point of view, like bringing in objectivity and non-partition.
See, you are a civil servant. Now you are in service. ठीक है, बी प्रैक्टिकल. वहां पर आपको अपना सीवी एस्पिरेंट वाला वो नहीं दिखाना है. यू हैव टू बी प्रैक्टिकल. हाउ विल यू डील विद सच सिचुएशन? यस प्रीतिश.
So as there is a new government, so and there is a
Yeah.
new scheme, so we have
Yeah.
to first to go through all the guidelines. There must be some amount of difference there. So first we have to go thoroughly with the guideline. Then we will aware the people or the beneficiaries regarding what is the difference between what has been there previously and what more has been added or dropped like that. So particularly like the difference, first we must be aware of that, then we'll convey that to the beneficiaries. So in this way, we may lead to some like that.
So you are basically dealing with the implementation aspect. Now I ask you, Pritish, for example, you are a senior level civil servant and you also deal with policy making. Okay,
Sir.
you are also dealing with policy making. So what would be your suggestion to the new government? Okay, so earlier you were involved, say, in the formulation of XYZ scheme. Okay, in the previous government. Now the new government comes, they say they have mentioned in their manifesto that will be bringing out this ABC scheme. Okay, so now you are part of that group who is dealing with this. So what would be your suggestions to that to the present government then? Will you
So
ask
in
them
that
that
case,
no? Yeah.
so in that case, if the government is just changing the name, then sorry, changing the policy, then I may suggest if in the previous policy there is something that was actually beneficial to the people, that is not required to be changed. So I may just suggest or give the report that this should be continued in the new policy, and more can be added, like those limitations such as there previously, that can be just added to that.
Okay. Arpita, you have raised your hand.
Sir, any kind of policy making should not involve any political agenda, sir. When making policies, the government should be more focused on the implementation and the productivity of the policy. So, sir, I would recommend any kind of new changes in the policy in order
Your voice is breaking. No, now let me
make
give
it
you.
Yeah.
Yes, just a moment. Let me give a counter question to you people. Now, my thing is, for example, for this particular Mukhyamantri Kalyan Yojana, Matsya Kalyan Yojana, 450 crore rupees were set aside. Okay, the financial allocation was 450 crores, and say hypothetically we spent 50 crores on the advertisement. Okay, hypothetically I am speaking. Now the new government says, no, we will rebrand this scheme. We will add certain features. The scheme will be known as, say, ABC now. So my question is, now 50 crore rupees would be lost. Now again, you will be doing advertisement, etc. Again, rupees 50 crores would be spent. So what would be suggestions, your suggestions as a civil servant in this regard? So you will be spending rupees 100 crore out of, say, 450 crore on advertisement only. Yes.
Hello,
I
sir.
hope you people are getting my question. Okay. So whenever the scheme is, for example, you brought scheme today, a scheme was brought today, okay, and you did everything, you printed the banners, you did awareness programs, you brought celebrities. So rupees 50 crores are spent, say, in the next 2 months. Tomorrow a new government comes, they say they put this particular scheme in the dustbin, we will start with the new one. So again, rupees 50 crores would be spent. Okay. So how will you deal with such kind of situations as a civil servant?
Sir, can I speak?
Yes, one by one.
Sir, since the political representative, they represent the aspirations of the people, so they can come with the new name and they have been elected by the people. Sir, in this scenario, as a civil servant, I can put this positive feedback mechanism where the lacunae of the earlier scheme that were present, that can be incorporated in a better way by bringing in technology and other aspects. That way, you can modify the system and modify it, and we could.
That I get. You people are not understanding my question. My question is, how will you deal with this rupees 100 crore loss for the exchequer? What will you suggest to the government? How to deal with this particular thing? I get that you will ask the government that if the previous scheme had certain loopholes, these can be addressed in the new scheme. That I get. But the question is, financial loss has occurred. Those 50 crores, they cannot be regained now. Okay, how will you deal with this situation? This way, the government can ask you tomorrow that this particular scheme is again not working. Let's put it into the dustbin and bring a new scheme again. Okay, so as a civil servant, what will be your suggestion? Okay, so
Hello.
yes.
Sir, as a senior civil servant, I'll request or I'll suggest the government. Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, please.
Sir, I'll suggest the government to take into advantage the technology or social media so that we can spend less amount of money and we can spread the information to a larger scale of society, to the ground level, and also we can take use of the local government, the panchayat level institution, to spread it to the ground level rather than just placing the hoardings and anything. And we can put more emphasis on implementation part rather than the advertisement part.
Yes. So see, you have to think on logical terms. Okay.
Sir,
Now please, we have less time, so let me continue now. So first of all, you are a permanent executive. Your role, it is not your mandate that you take decisions at par with your political counterpart. Okay, first thing that you have to understand, that you will be only making recommendations or suggestions. You can use any word. Okay. So as a civil servant, senior civil servant, your first advice to the government would be, sir, whenever we put a particular scheme, say in the dustbin, we already have spent certain amount, say rupees 50 crores on its yes, please keep your audios on off. Rupees 50 crores already have been spent on that particular scheme. Now if we discontinue that scheme and bring a new one, sir, we only are going to suffer the loss. Okay, आपकी गवर्नमेंट है सर, ठीक है, आपको ही आगे नुकसान झेलना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, सो बेटर सजेशन वुड बी, लेट द स्कीम कंटिन्यू, वी विल ओनली चेंज द नेम. Yes, please keep your audios on off. I can still, yes. So let, for example, if the scheme had the word Biju, okay, see, sir, if you want, we can drop that name. Okay, we can drop that name, but there can be consequences of that also. So you make your political representative aware of these aspects. Okay, your role is only to give suggestions because you are a senior civil servant. Now, you can say, sir, it is totally your decision, but we will suffer financial losses. First thing. Second thing, the people will get confused. ठीक है, अभी आपने कोई और फीचर्स लेके आए थे पहले, अब दूसरे फीचर्स लेके आए हो, so the beneficiaries, they can get confused. So why not to have a continuity for some time? For example, we can see the scheme, this particular scheme for 1 year. Let's see how it performs. Then we can decide in the next budget. Okay, whether to drop it or whether to make it more effective, whether to add more features. So you have to give logical, diplomatic answers. Do not give answers as an aspirant. ठीक है, ये चीज ध्यान रखनी है. Whenever the board member is saying to you that be a senior civil servant, so be practical, don't be ideal. वहां पर ये नहीं दिखाना है कि मैंने एथिक्स पढ़ा हुआ है. You have to be practical, you have to be diplomatic. पहले भी आप सिविल सर्वेंट थे एक गवर्नमेंट में, आप दूसरी गवर्नमेंट में भी सिविल सर्वेंट हो. आपको दोनों गवर्नमेंट में आपकी तो कंटिन्यूटी रहनी हो. आर अ परमानेंट रिप्रेजेंटेटिव, पॉलिटिकल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव विल कीप ऑन चेंजिंग. ठीक है, तो ऐसा नहीं है कि ये बोल दोगे कि नहीं सर पहली वाली स्कीम गलत थी, उसमें लूप होल्स थे. चलो उसमें आपने इसको भी ट्वीक करके बोलना है. यू हैव टू से सर लेट दैट पर्टिकुलर स्कीम कंटिन्यू फॉर 1 year. अभी लॉन्च हुआ था. अगर आपको लगता है द स्कीम वाज लॉन्च्ड से इन 2015, so you have the data, you have the statistics in front of you, you have the statistics of 9 years in front of you, so you take the decision on the basis of that. But if a particular scheme was only launched 6-7 months back, so you ask the political representative, sir, let it continue for 1 year. Let us see its performance first. If you want, we can just change the name. The people will not get confused. That is a normal thing, because the government has changed. Obviously, they will change the names. Okay. So these on these lines you have to answer. You have to be very clear with your answers, and those answers have to be very crisp. ये नहीं कि एक पहले background दे रहे हो, then you are giving the idea. No, you have to be very crisp. इतना टाइम ही नहीं देगा आपको आपका पॉलिटिकल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव. वो ऐसे बोलेंगे, इफ फॉर एग्जांपल योर नेम इज आलोक गुप्ता, ही विल से यस आलोक गुप्ता, टेल मी इन 2 minutes व्हाट यू सजेस्ट, और टेल मी इन 1 minute व्हाट यू सजेस्ट. वहां पे आप फिर ये बैकग्राउंड नॉलेज वगैरह ये सब नहीं बोलोगे, आप सीधा आइडिया दोगे. So please keep this thing in your mind while answering the questions. Now moving forward, so we have taken a lot of time in this discussion. So after this, we have certain small schemes like this Prani Sampad Samriddhi Yojana. All these are related to your livestock sector. ठीक है, related to basically cattle, increasing the milk production, etc. So you can read about these. You should be aware of 2 to 3 features on each from the document that will be shared with you people. Now moving to the next. So under this agricultural and allied sector activities, the important scheme is your CM Kisan. So be prepared for that. Moving forward. So we have discussed all these things. Now coming to the irrigation, flood control, and water use in efficiency. So here there are 2 schemes that were mentioned in your budget document. One is related to this Mukhyamantri Adi Bandh Tiyari Yojana. This is basically where small dams, check dams, they would be established across your streams and small rivers. The second one, this Nabha Krishna Chaudhary Sechna Unayan Yojana, is basically related to your irrigation, that the land under irrigation, that has to be enhanced. Okay, so this much awareness is more than sufficient for these 2 schemes. Now the board member, they might ask you, name any 2 schemes related to irrigation initiatives which were mentioned in the budget. Then they can ask you, name any 2 schemes related to your central government. Okay, on this irrigation, flood control, etc. So you should be aware of the names. Okay, and 2 to 3 features on each. That would be more than sufficient. Next is your health related. Now this is important. Again, this one is important, just like your CM Kisan. So what was the erstwhile name of this? Gop Bandhu Jan Arogya Yojana? Yes.
Biju Swasthya Kalyan Yojana.
Okay, Biju Swasthya Kalyan Yojana. So which one came first? Biju Swasthya Kalyan Yojana or your Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana? Which came first?
Ashwan.
Yes. Yes.
Pradhan Mantri
Biju Swasthya Kalyan Yojana.
right version.
Yes, someone was saying Ayushman came first. Yes. See, if you are not aware of the factual details, straight away say no. वहां पर inaccurate details नहीं बोलनी है. ठीक है. So again, I am repeating, which came first? So tell me the year. Yes, Biju came in which year? Yes. 2018. Ayushman came in which year?
19.
Yes. When was Ayushman launched? See, both the schemes were launched in 2018. ठीक है. Launch 2018 में ही हुई थी दोनों. बीजू आपकी 15 अगस्त पे हुई थी. That was launched in September, around September 28 or something. ठीक है. So, but Biju Swasthya Kalyan came first. Did Odisha implement this Ayushman Bharat scheme?
No.
Was Odisha implementing this scheme? Yes.
No, sir.
There were 4 states in India which did not implement this scheme, this Ayushman Bharat your PMJ Yojana, the Odisha one was one of those states. ठीक है. So the new government, it has rebranded this scheme, this Biju Swasthya Kalyan Yojana, by the name of Gop Bandhu Jan Arogya Yojana. ठीक है. So you must be, now you should be aware of the features of the Biju Swasthya Kalyan Yojana. ठीक है. You should be aware of the features of PM Jan Kalyan Jan Arogya Yojana. You should be aware of the comparison between the two. ठीक है. So what was the limit under Biju Swasthya Kalyan Yojana? Quickly. Yes. What was the limit?
Sir, 10 lakh for the women and 5 lakh for men in each family.
Okay. And for Ayushman Bharat, what was the
Sir,
limit?
5 lakh for each family.
Okay. So the which scheme had the more limit, more cap?
Biju Swasthya Kalyan Yojana, sir.
So this means under the Biju Swasthya Kalyan Yojana, the number of beneficiaries would be more. Okay. So when the board member would ask you, which scheme has more beneficiaries? So you would say the Biju Swasthya Kalyan Yojana, because there are almost 90 lakh families under this scheme. Okay. So this Ayushman Bharat, it only has 60 lakh families. Okay. Now, under Gop Bandhu Jan Arogya Yojana, 5,450 crores has been allocated, and these are the sub schemes under that: Nirmaya, Nidan, Sampurna, etc. So you need not know about these things. ठीक है. तो ये सिर्फ एक रीडिंग लगा लेना, उससे ज्यादा को आपको नीड नहीं है. But the comparative analysis between the three, that is important. Be ready for example, the funding structure. ठीक है. Whether Ayushman Bharat, it is the funding is shared between center or states, or is it 100% central funded? Yes. Yes.
It is shared.
So the funding was shared. It was 60-40. The funding is shared between the center and the state. Okay. So how the beneficiaries are defined under your PM Jan Arogya Yojana, and how the beneficiaries are defined in the state level scheme. So you should be aware of these aspects, right? Next, there is one more scheme by the name of that was launched in this budget. That is your Surendra Sai Divya Drishti Yojana. Okay, just a factual detail you should be aware of, that it provides universal free eye care to all. That's it. ठीक है. इससे ज्यादा की आपको नीड नहीं है जानने की. So under this healthcare sector, now an analytical question again for you people. So we discussed that there are financial implications. So what will be the financial implications in your Gop Bandhu Jan Arogya Yojana? Can someone please tell me this? I told you whenever the scheme is rebranded, there are certain financial implications. So what can be the financial implications under this scheme? That is the question. Yes. Think. Do any one of you have this card that the government provided, the health card under this scheme, Biju Swasthya Kalyan Yojana? Does any one of you have that card? So what was the name of that card? What was the name of that card?
BSQS Smart Card.
Yes, can someone please tell me one by one?
BSKY Smart Card.
BSKY Smart Card. तो जब आपने अगर वो स्मार्ट कार्ड देखा होगा तो उसके ऊपर क्या लिखा होता है? क्या लिखा हुआ है? बीजू स्वास्थ्य कल्याण योजना लिखा हुआ है.
Yes.
ठीक है. तो अब जब स्कीम का हमने रीब्रांडिंग कर दिया है, वी हैव सेड दैट द स्कीम विल बी नाउ नोन एज गोप बंधु जन आरोग्य योजना. अब दोबारा से कार्ड्स होंगे इशू. यस. यस, कैन
Yes, sir.
समवन प्लीज. तो उसमें फाइनेंशियल इंप्लीकेशंस नहीं आएगा.
Yes.
तो जब आप इस टाइप के आंसर्स देते हो ना बोर्ड में, इंटरव्यू बोर्ड को, तो वो आपको ना एक एज मिलता है फॉर योर प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड. ठीक है. आपको पता है कि कोई भी हेल्थ स्कीम है उसमें आपको एक कार्ड प्रोवाइड करते हैं. ठीक है. तो उसके ऊपर पहले गवर्नमेंट का नाम स्कीम का नाम लिखा हुआ था. अब नई स्कीम है, उनके नए कार्ड्स आएंगे, तो वो दोबारा आपको इशू करने पड़ेंगे. उसमें आपका फाइनेंशियल इंप्लीकेशंस नहीं होंगे, आपको फाइनेंशियल लॉस नहीं होगा. Are you getting my point? Beneficiaries add over here, that is a separate thing. That is a good thing also. कि number of beneficiaries that are increasing. But cards को reissue करना, वो तो एक तरीके से आपको loss है ना. Same चीज, बस आप नाम change करने के लिए you are reissuing something. So please, whenever you are doing a critical analysis of the rebranded schemes, keep this thing in your mind कि जैसे documentation में, advertisement में ये financial implications होंगे. So when you are mentioning to the board the critical analysis of the scheme, please mention these aspects. Okay, these aspects will also show your presence of mind. Okay, moving forward. Now coming to the education sector. Education sector. Yes. Which out of the schemes that you are seeing on your screen are new schemes?
प्लस वाले जून में पढ़ा रहे हैं
Yes, which of the schemes are new schemes?
और इसमें से है ये
Yes, please keep your audios on off. Yeah. So which one of these is a new scheme? Mo school सबने पढ़ा है? Mo school सबने सुना है? Mo school अभियान. Mo college अभियान. So what is the new name of that? पंच शाखा शिक्षा सेतु.
पंचशाखा शिक्षा सेतु.
ठीक है. And what is the new name of Mo college? That is Amma College, Amma Gaurav. Right?
Amma College, Amma Gaurav.
So you should be aware of these aspects.
पढ़ा भी रहे हैं.
ठीक है. So now tell me, ठीक है, what was the objective of this scheme? These two schemes, they have similar aligned objectives. What is the objective?
कहाँ चल?
More school, more college. What is the objective? Other are simple. For example, Vidyarthi Protsahan Yojana. These are related to giving prizes, scholarships, etc. What is the objective of this scheme? Amma College or Mo this the Mo School Abhiyan. See, now when the board will ask you this question, for example, you know the answer. Yes, someone has mentioned that to improve the educational outcomes and better platforms for students. No, this is an incorrect objective. Now, when
So
I ask
increase
you what is
enrollment.
See, the objective is, for example, you belong to, there is an IT in Bhubaneswar. Yes, there is an IT in Bhubaneswar, right?
Yes, sir.
For example,
Yes.
you are an alumni of that particular college. Okay, say you are an alumni of ABC college. Okay, now you are also a civil servant. Okay, you are a serving civil servant in Odisha. Plus, you are also an alumni of, say, ABC college. So you would be, as a civil servant, as an alumni, you would be visiting your college, okay, or your school. Okay, and you will be providing, say, motivational lectures to them. So basically, you are going back to your roots and contributing to education there. Are you getting my point? So the Mo school is at school level, the Mo college was at college level. Now the board member, they might ask you, as a civil servant, what initiatives can you take? Okay, or you can ask your peers, your family, friends, etc. that we have started this particular initiative, say Amma College, Amma Gaurav. So how will you motivate them that they go back to their college or they go back to their school and contribute to that? So what will be your solutions? What innovative solution ideas can you suggest as a civil servant? Yes.
Sir, first, as an alumni, I could provide my experience and my knowledge, or I could guide or mentor some of the students for the lifetime or till they get their own livelihood.
See, the word I used was innovative solutions. Okay, innovative solutions. So please focus on the word also while listening. See, don't give me generalized solutions. Innovative solutions. See, for example, I am a civil servant. ठीक है. And for example, my wife, she's a housemaker, ठीक है, so homemaker, and we both are from the same college. ठीक है. So how will I motivate my wife that you also go to the college, you also give a certain amount of time, or you also contribute, say financially, or say by taking some lectures, etc. So how will I motivate her? How will I motivate my family? How will I motivate the general public?
Sir, we can arrange mini get together of alumni, the successful alumni, so
Yes,
they can.
yes, yes. So this is how you are going to give innovative solutions that you can take. You can arrange an alumni meet of your family, or sorry, your friends from the same college of the same year. Okay, you can ask them. Then in that particular meet, you can raise the issues that are being faced by the school. Okay, you can ask for funding from them. Okay, so this is how. For example, if someone is from is a say at entrepreneur type of person, okay, who is your friend and from the same college, you can ask them whether they can undertake certain CSR initiative. So such kind of innovative solutions you have to provide. Now, yes, Akanksha, but that as a civil servant, this kind of solution you should avoid. Now, Akanksha has mentioned use social media for social influence. We can use that, but keep social media related solutions towards the end. Okay, if you are giving say 3-4 solutions, so the fourth one should be related to social media, because I would say be prepared for counter questions. What if you post something that creates a controversy? Okay, because you are a civil servant, you are representing the government also. So be prepared. So if you feel that yes, sir, I can take that risk, I am prepared for each kind of counter question. Okay, so aap bolo, you can straight away say yes. So these kind of questions. Now, what is this CM Aspire? Can someone please tell me CM Aspire scheme? Do we have a counterpart at the central level? Yes.
Sir, we do have.
Yes.
PM
Yes.
PM Aspire scheme.
Yes. So be prepared for such.
CM Aspire कर दिया.
So be prepared for counter questions. So I would again suggest, if you have not gone through the features of the schemes that we are discussing right now, so one features ko just in 3-4 lines is more than sufficient on each and every scheme. Okay, that is important. So education related, these are the important ones. You just need to know which ones are the newly launched. For example, the CM Aspire, this is a new scheme. Now, more school and more college, they have been renamed. Okay, so these details you should be aware of. Rest, those are related to prices, etc. Now coming to women and child development. Yes. So now my question is, okay, for example, I am taking your interview. Your interview is scheduled for today. My question is, has the Subhadra Yojana been launched? Yes,
Yes,
I read somewhere that the scheme has been launched. So now I ask you people, has the scheme been launched?
Yes, sir.
Yes, someone please tell me, has the scheme been launched?
Yes, sir.
Today launched.
Yes, sir.
So what will happen on September 17?
So that is the launch date, basically, September 17.
Yes, someone earlier, 2 students said that today it has been launched. So what will happen on September 17? There is
Today is the registration date.
I said
The registration
has the
starts
scheme
from
been-
today and launch date will
Okay.
be 17th of September.
Okay, so please be careful with the words. ठीक है, so ये आपने ये देखना है कि जो बोर्ड होता है ना, वो आपके साथ खेलता है एक तरीके से. They will judge your mental awareness also. They can ask you, has the scheme been announced? Now tell me, has the scheme been announced?
Yes.
So the scheme has been announced, but has it been launched? So that is a separate thing. Now another thing is, has the scheme come into force? ठीक
No,
है,
sir.
वो अलग चीजें होती हैं, ये तीनों अलग चीजें होती हैं. अनाउंस हो गया है, लॉन्च हो गया है या इन फोर्स आ चुका है। इट माइट बी द केस कि बजट में कोई स्कीम उन्होंने लॉन्च किया है, ठीक है, या अनाउंस
लेकिन
किया है,
लॉन्च नहीं हुआ।
and it might be the case that it will go into force say 2 months down the line. So you should be aware of these aspects. ठीक है, तो जानबूझ के बोर्ड मेंबर्स आपको स्ट्रेस में डालने के लिए दे कैन प्ले विद द वर्ड्स आल्सो। ठीक है, आपको स्ट्रेस डालेंगे आपके ऊपर, आप ठीक भी बोल रहे होगे, इट माइट बी द केस दैट यू आर सेइंग द करेक्ट थिंग, बट वो ऐसे दिखाएंगे नहीं आप कुछ गलत बोल रहे हो, and then they will put you under stress, and then you will backtrack from your statement. So that backtracking shows that you are not fit for being a civil servant. If you have taken a decision, you have to stick to it. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि कल को आपका फ्रेंड सर्कल या अंडर पब्लिक प्रेशर यू चेंज योर डिसीजंस. So that is not a personality trait of a fit civil servant. ठीक है, and keep this thing in your mind that at the end of the day my personality traits are being evaluated, whether I am fit to be a civil servant or not. My knowledge is not being tested, that has already been tested in mains. Right now they want to know whether what is my thought process, how do I handle situations, ठीक है, how quickly I take decisions, what is my thought process before leading to that particular decision. Am I vulnerable to changing decisions? So when I asked you कि a new government comes, it asks you to change the scheme. ठीक है, now being a civil servant, it should be your duty to tell your permanent representative, sir, कि पहले implement करके देखते हैं, rather than changing. अगर आप सीधा बोल दोगे नहीं सर, अगर आपने बोर्ड में बोल दिया सर it is a new government, it is totally their decision, that they will take a decision, I will only follow that decision. That shows that you are not a suitable candidate to be a civil servant. You are just following the orders of your political representatives. Yes, you have to follow the orders, but you can question them. You can give your recommendations. Ultimately, you have to do what he will decide. The political representative will decide. But you have to question, you have to put things into record. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप बिल्कुल blindly you are following everything. ठीक है, so keep this thing in your mind while answering the question. So basically this Subhadra Yojana, it will be launched on September 17, but certain details have come that the women, they will be paid rupees 10,000 in 2 installments, I think rupees 5,000 each, and this would be for 5 years. So the total amount of the particular person would get is 50,000 rupees. Okay, so now you should also be aware that there are certain categories who would be excluded. For example, if someone they are receiving rupees 1,500 per month from say some other government scheme, okay, or 18,000 per year from some other scheme or benefit. So those persons, those women, they would be excluded. So these kind of details you should be aware of. Now, next is your Yashoda scheme. What is the Yashoda scheme? Yes. So you must be aware of, so the time is less, so I would be going in a bit quick manner. So basically you might be aware that during the time of COVID, okay, there was a scheme by the name of Ashirwad scheme. Okay, जहाँ पर financial assistance was provided to children who lost their both parents. Okay, for example, in COVID, both the parents died, so the government would provide financial incentive to those kind of children. But this scheme was discontinued in 2021 in the previous government. Now they have relaunched it by the name of Jashoda scheme. Okay. Now there is also a program by the name of Yashoda program. What is that Yashoda program? So it is an old program. It was launched in 2008. Okay, so it was an initiative of the Indian government and the Norway government, under which to improve the maternal quality of maternal care, certain facilities were provided in selected districts of India, and one of the districts was your Sambalpur district of Odisha. ठीक है. So these are two different initiatives, Yashoda and this Jashoda program and Jashoda scheme. So please be aware of these details. Then this Mukhyamantri Sampoorna Pushti Yojana, it was launched in 2023. It basically relates to addressing the malnutrition, anemia related issues, which among your lactating mothers, children, etc. Then the Mamta scheme, it was launched in 2011 and it provides financial support to your pregnant and lactating women. So you should be aware of what are the central counterparts to this scheme. Can someone name any two schemes related to the central government which provides financial assistance to pregnant women? Yeah.
Sir, Matrutva Vandana Yojana.
PM Matru Vandana Yojana.
Yeah, right, correct. So important here is your Subhadra Yojana because it was in the news recently. Now coming to social security and empowerment of PWD. ठीक है, तो ये पहले से ही है आपकी schemes. ठीक है, so old schemes 2008 types, Madhu Babu Pension Yojana and Bhima Boy Bina Kam Samarthya Abhiyan. So 2008 में हुई थी launch, and you should be aware apart from that what is the financial assistance that is being provided at the central level, but which all are the schemes, right? So nothing to discuss here. Now coming to development of SCs, STs, OBCs and minorities. So again, no new initiative.
जनजाति जीविका माधव सिंह
Yes. So the focus it is in enhancing the Sangeeta, keep your audio on off. Yes. So basically the purpose, the objective is to enhance the livelihood and economic opportunities for the tribal people. Okay. For example, under the LAB scheme, the procurement of minor forest produce is undertaken. Okay. So in your Madhu Singh Hath Kharch. So what is the objective of this Madhu Singh Hath Kharch? Can someone please tell me? There is a scheme for by the name of Madhu Singh Hath Kharch. What is the objective?
Sir, the objective is to provide the pocket money towards
So
handloom
is the
sector.
objective, the purpose that is mentioned, as you can see on your screens, it is correct. Can someone please let me know this?
Sir, monthly financial assistance to the handicrafts and artisans of Odisha.
Okay. So what is the name of the scheme under which your monthly financial assistance is provided to tribal students to address the dropout issue? What is the name of the scheme then? That scheme where say rupees 5,000 is provided annually to say especially to the tribal students. What is the name?
Anvesa scheme?
Yes.
Anvesa?
No, actually that the name of that scheme is also, I think, Madhu Singh Hath Kharch scheme Yojana. Please check it once whether the two are separate things or the objectives. They are two different objectives under the same scheme. Okay, I'm myself confused here because I am aware that there is a scheme by the name of Hath Kharch Yojana under which the tribal students are provided 5,000 rupees annually. Okay, just verify it once whether these two objectives, that providing financial assistance to tribal students and providing financial support to the traditional
Yes, you are right.
handicraft,
You are right.
yes, are they separate or they are two objectives of the same scheme? So just verify it once. Okay. Next, we have your Odisha Livelihood Habitat Mission. Okay. So basically the purpose here is, so these are also old schemes only, that your rural areas, especially the slum areas, they would be provided opportunities, infrastructure, service, etc. at par with the urban counterparts. Okay. For example, if there is a slum area, okay, in Bhubaneswar, so that particular slum area would be provided facilities which will be at par with the urban local bodies. Okay, so that is the purpose, that we have to gradually increase the standard of living of the people in slum areas or the rural areas. Basudha, now this particular is to provide drinking water to all the ULBs, right? Next, now the schemes that you are seeing in your on your screens, these are just being taken from your budget document. Now, Viksit Gaon Viksit Odisha scheme. So what was the name of this scheme earlier?
Odisha, Northern Odisha.
What was the objective of that scheme? Yes. And when was it launched? This Amma Odisha and Nabeen Odisha scheme, when was it launched?
Before election.
Yes, tell me the year.
2023.
Yes, 2023. So now it has been rebranded, renamed as Viksit Gaon Viksit Odisha scheme. So yes, obviously it is based on the Prime Minister Modi's principle of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, etc. So now my question is, how will the renaming of this particular scheme, okay, affect its implementation? My question is this. Earlier, the scheme was known as Amma Odisha, Naveen Odisha. Now the scheme is Viksit Gaon Viksit Odisha scheme. How will the renaming if affect its implementation? Yes.
The identity crisis may happen.
No, see, listen to my question carefully. Now, let me elaborate it by adding one more line. For example, the earlier scheme had certain features. Have the features of that particular scheme been changed? My first question is this. The basic objective is scheme that urban amenities would be provided in rural areas of Odisha, so that the ultimate objective is to have a developed Odisha. Okay, ये overall objective है. Now, if the overall objective of the scheme is same, how will renaming of this particular scheme affect its implementation?
Sir, I don't think it is renaming of Noa Odisha, Naveen Odisha, because in Noa Odisha, Naveen Odisha scheme, skilling and reskilling of youth has been done. But here it is written that amenities improvement in rural area.
Tell me something. Wasn't in the earlier scheme rupees 50 lakhs, around 50 lakhs provided to each your gram panchayat, okay, to have this urban amenities in their areas? Yes.
Yes, sir, provided.
Are you aware of this aspect, that the gram panchayats were provided certain financial amount? Okay, and you must have read it in the newspapers also, that the present government has said that they will undertake a probe into financial irregularities related to that scheme. Are you aware of this aspect or not? Okay, so
But here,
yes.
But here the scholarship aspect is not there, no. So difference is scholarship aspect to the student of college going student is not there here.
See, I don't have that information, the scholarship aspect related, because I thought, because according to me, the scheme caters to providing urban level infrastructure in your rural areas. Okay, so there might be the case that there is an sub-objective related to skilling also, scholarship also, but the major objective is that we have to develop basically rural Odisha. And my question is, how will renaming of this particular thing affect its implementation? Just a simple question.
Sir, it can create confusion among the people, and additional financial outlay will also be required for rebranding.
Right. So these, I agree with these points. But as okay, I get that. But the important thing that you had to mention, okay, you had to mention, and that is why reading the newspapers and being aware of the developments related to schemes is important. You had to mention that, sir, there are newspaper reports, and even the government said that there might be certain financial irregularities related to the previous scheme. ठीक है. So this might send a wrong signal to the people, to the investors, to the people, to the general public at large. So renaming this particular scheme is not a bad decision at all. ठीक है. As now you might say sir पहले तो आप बोल रहे थे कि क्यों करते हैं renaming, but in this particular case it might not be I would say an incorrect decision, because the previous scheme, it is being probed now. The ministers of the present government, they have made statements that there were certain financial irregularities. So if there are financial irregularities and the basic objective of the scheme is same, basic features are same, why not rename it? ठीक है. So there is nothing wrong. अभी आप काउंटर क्वेश्चन आ सकते हैं, 2023 में लॉन्च हुआ था, अभी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन होने के लिए 1 साल का टाइम दे सकते थे. बट जब पता लग गया कि द फाइनेंशियल irregularities आर हैपनिंग, सो why not take certain corrective measures? Aditya has raised his hand. Yes, Aditya.
Sir, rebranding the earlier scheme doesn't ensure that financial irregularities not happen in future.
Yes.
So
Yes,
it might
I totally
it
agree.
will be counter.
Yes. Now this will be a counter question to you. How will renaming the initiative help in
So
addressing the
I can
financial
suggest
irregularities?
that we should bring strict measures to successfully implement this. We can add that point
Yes.
at that
Now,
time.
being a civil servant, and for example, I am the uh, candidate who is sitting in front of the board members, the board panel. How will I address this question? I would say, sir, there is no harm in renaming of the scheme owing to the financial irregularities associated with. Why? Because if I do not rename it, first of all, it will send a bad impression. A negative connotation would be there in the minds of the people. So if I rename it, that negative connotation would be suppressed to certain extent. Okay. But by saying so, sir, I do not say that the financial irregularities will be addressed. For that, we have to take additional steps. The government at its level should undertake the probe. Okay. Should undertake the probe, and we should also take steps to ensure that such irregularities are not repeated. So the only purpose of renaming is to send a positive signal that yes, there were loopholes in the previous scheme. Now we are addressing it. Just this much is the only purpose of renaming of the scheme. And sir, I believe that due to this renaming, there won't be much financial implications. There won't be much financial implications because the broader features, the broader objectives remain the same. Only in the posters we have to change the name. So the financial implications, yes, there would be certain financial implications, but they won't be much. So you have to be very clear with your ideas. Yes, Aditya, you can now mention.
Okay.
Huh. You want to add on something, Aditya?
No, sir. Clear.
So this is how. See, now you have to learn from the whatever I said to you now on this particular topic. You have to learn how you have to be pro-government all the time. You are giving an interview for the job of a civil servant under the Odisha government. Okay, and this is valid for your other government exams as well. So at no time, please note this down. It is our human nature and we are civil aspirants. So हमारा एक nature रहता है कि we digress. हम ना government को criticize करने लग जाते हैं. ठीक है. और एक बार हम जब शुरू हो जाते हैं फिर हम रुकते नहीं हैं, फिर हम एंटी गवर्नमेंट भी हो जाते हैं. To show the examiner, to show the board members that ये मेरी knowledge का extent है. ठीक है. But you have to be practical during your interview. You have to show that I am a future civil servant. तो जो मेरी language होगी ना, वो मैं ओडिशा गवर्नमेंट के स्पोक्स पर्सन की तरह आंसर करूंगा. गलती हम कभी नहीं मानेंगे. गलती कभी नहीं मानेंगे। कोई भी गवर्नमेंट स्कीम होगी, चाहे वो सेंटर की होगी, चाहे आपकी स्टेट की होगी, गलती कभी नहीं मानेंगे। हम बोलेंगे यस दे कैन बी सर्टेन लूप होल्स, नो स्कीम नथिंग इज परफेक्ट, ठीक है, देयर कैन बी सर्टेन लूप होल्स एंड दे कैन बी एड्रेस्ड। बट ये कोई नहीं बोलेगा दैट दिस स्कीम इज टोटली रॉन्ग, दैट नो रीनेमिंग शुड हैव बीन डन, नो रीब्रांडिंग शुड हैव बीन डन, ये कभी नहीं बोलना है, ठीक है। Financial implications would be there, yes, financial implications would be there, but there are benefits also associated with it. Now the benefits are that it will set a positive signal, it will show the people yes the present government is concerned about their welfare. So इस lines पे आपका thought process होना चाहिए, right? So next is your Odisha Antyodaya Griha Yojana. So what is the earlier name of this scheme? Yes. So I will be now quickly winding it up. So you must have got the idea कि हमें schemes में करना क्या है. So the earlier name was your Biju Pakka Ghar Yojana. ठीक है, तो that was launched say a decade back in 2014-15, where all the kacha houses they would be converted to pakka houses. So that was also earlier there used to be a scheme in 2000s, early 2000s, by the name of Mo Kudiya Yojana. ठीक है, so it was revamped as your Biju Pakka Ghar Yojana, and now we have the Odisha Antyodaya Griha Yojana. Now, a number of other schemes have been renamed, such as the Biju Setu scheme has been renamed as Setu Bandhan Yojana. Then Lakshmi scheme has been renamed as Gramanchal Pratibhan Yojana. So you should be aware. You should be aware of the important ones. Now, for example, the Make in Odisha, it has been renamed as. What is the name of making this Utkarsh Utkal investment? ठीक है, so you should be aware of these details. Then KBK Vikas Yojana, it is the rename of your Biju KBK Yojana. ठीक है, so all these just superficial knowledge is more than sufficient. Now this particular slide, this is very important, and a question can obviously be asked from you people on this particular slide, that how the renaming of the schemes it is going to affect the government, how it is going to affect the general public, etc. Okay, so there was a newspaper report in your Indian Express. According to that report, the Odisha government will face a loss of rupees 1000 crores. And this particular, what are the reasons for this? Administrative purposes, okay, then for example the reissue of the cards, advertisement, documentation, etc, etc. So the government will suffer rupees 1000 crores of this. And can you name one scheme, okay, which was renamed, but the government took back that decision of renaming it? Okay, yes, there was a scheme which was renamed. It was, and let me give you a hint, it was related to your sports. What was the name of that scheme? Yes, so the Biju Sports Award, जो आपका ये स्पोर्ट्स अवार्ड था, it was renamed by the present government, but उसके बाद public outcry हुआ and they then took back their decision. So this can also be a question. So if they took back their decision to rename this particular award, then why not take the decision, why not take back the decision of renaming the 40 schemes that they have renamed? So this can be a counter question to you. So what could be the reason for this? Quickly, what could be the reason? कि आपने एक अवार्ड कैटेगरी को तो बैक आपने ले लिया डिसीजन अपना, बाकी 40 स्कीम्स को आपने रीनेम किया, व्हाई नॉट टेक बैक दैट डिसीजन? यस, we have discussed so much, so you are now in a position to answer this question on the basis of the discussion that we have held till now. Yes,
So to give a positive connotation to the public.
no, I am asking, see, then you are saying that all the 40 schemes, they were facing certain financial irregularities. No,
And
that can't be the answer. That can't be the answer.
Sir, some schemes were part of their election manifesto. Well, that can even.
See, now you have who said this answer? What is the name? What is your name?
Sir Jyoti Prakash.
JP. For JP, you said that certain schemes were a part of their manifesto, right? So a better, you can put it in better words. You can say that now the examiner would say, sorry, the board member would say that you are a civil servant. Okay. Now you can say that as a civil servant, there are certain decisions which are outside my mandate. I am a permanent representative. Naming of the schemes, okay, that is not my mandate. That is totally the decision of the political executive. First thing. Second thing, ये चीज आप बोल सकते हो. Second thing, then you can add that, ठीक है, जैसे आपने तो डायरेक्टली बोल दिया that it is a part of you their election manifesto, that now this is a political statement. Being a permanent representative, you cannot mention this particular statement to the board members. You can say that so the certain decisions have to be undertaken by the political representative on the basis of for example, the, what can I say? What is the word for that? Now it is not coming in my mind. The just not coming in my mind. So the point I am, yes. No, what I want to convey is that there's a certain decisions that are taken by the political executive, the political representatives. They are taken on the basis of the will of the people. Okay, because at the end of the day they have been elected on the basis of majority. Okay, so they are representing the majority of the people now. Okay, so the certain decisions now they have to be undertaken by the political people on the basis of the will of the general people. Okay, so I am not getting the correct word right now. So basically you do not have to put it directly in political language. That is what I want to convey. Like JP said that it was a part of their manifesto. You cannot say this statement towards the board. You have to tweak it. The basic idea would remain the same, that because they are political executive, they are political representatives, certain decisions have to be taken of that nature. That is correct. Okay, you have to mention this. There is nothing wrong in mentioning this aspect. And being a permanent representative, it is not my mandate. Okay. But my only mandate is that I suggest to my political bosses that, sir, these can be the implications, be it financial, be it related to implementation. These can be the implications. Rest, it is your decision because you are the ultimate decision-taking authority. Right? So now let me show something to you. So we will be ending the session here. So I have prepared a document. So in that particular, yes, just a moment, just a
Sir, will
moment.
the discussion will get uploaded?
The decision will be uploaded in your YouTube channel also. Plus, I will be sharing a document with you which has all the details. See, I could not touch. I was only allocated 1 hour for this session. Still, I took around 1.5 hours. Okay, because in 1 hour we cannot discuss everything. Okay, there the schemes have so many features. Okay, still I try to tell you people, give you an idea that what all you have to cover. That was my basic objective. That what kind of questions you can face, what kind of counter questions can you face, and how you have to tackle them. That was my only objective of this session. Okay. All the details, factual details, etc., that you can read on your own. That is also available in the document. Now, I will only be showing I have prepared certain questions. Okay, just a moment. Let me share my screen with you people. Yes. So these are certain possible. Yes, everyone can see the screens. Yes, can someone respond?
Yes, sir.
So I have prepared certain questions. Now, what I want to say is that you, before going to these questions are towards the end of this document. So before going to these questions, prepare thoroughly all the schemes. Prepare thoroughly all the schemes that I have told you that we have discussed in this session, plus their central counterpart. You should be aware of those. Then, having thoroughly prepared these schemes, then go to these questions. What you will do, but the exercise that you have to conduct is, you take a tape recorder, your phone, anything you can go with, then you read one question, you answer that question by speaking and record it. And this exercise you are going to do at your home. Okay, you record it and then you listen to that answer. Okay, do one question, listen to it, then see what mistakes you made while speaking. Were you not clear? Were you short of words? For example, I was short of certain words and towards the end of the session. So that should not be the case. Okay, so ऐसे आपको practice करना है. One by one, take the questions which you feel are you can say analytical, more analytical. There are analytical as well as factual questions I've added here. Okay, choose the ones which are more analytical. Okay, for example, what are the political and administrative implications of the new government in Odisha renaming several existing schemes? So in 2 to 3 points, you have to answer this question. So there are around 50-60 questions that I have added for each category. You do this practice. And you see by the end of the questions, for example, there are 60 questions. So if you practice say 30 odd questions, so towards the end of the 30, you will see the benefit in your speaking ability also, okay, in the framing of the answers also, in your thought process also, right? So,
Sir,
yes.
yes, sir. Sir, can it be mentioned to the board that whenever there is a regime change, be it the 2014 NDA government replacing the UPA, there were a lot of schemes which were rebranded or renamed or repackaged, whatever we can say. So can it be mentioned that the same is happening here? It being a double engine government, it is rebranding the schemes,
Now,
naming it the...
just a moment. Never use the word that you use right now, the double engine government. Say again, I am repeating, you are spokesperson of the government. ठीक है, तो ये वर्ड्स नहीं यूज करने हैं, ये निकलेंगे और आपके मुंह से ये वर्ड्स वहां पर बोर्ड के सामने निकलेंगे. तो ये पहले से प्रैक्टिस करो. एंड इट विल, आई एम टेलिंग यू, इट विल. अगर आपने बहुत अच्छा आंसर्स दिए हैं और एक भी ऐसा गलत वर्ड निकल गया, तो मार्क्स सोच लो कैसे हो जाएंगे. ठीक है, तो ये कभी नहीं करना है. इन चीजों का ही ध्यान रखना होता है इंटरव्यू में. ठीक है, तो नाउ कमिंग बैक टू योर यस, सी अगेन आई वुड से यू विल नॉट यूज कि 2014 में हुआ, 2019 में हुआ. ठीक है, नाउ यू हैव टू चूज योर वर्ड्स केयरफुली. ये सिर्फ 2014 में नहीं शुरू हुआ है, ये जब भी गवर्नमेंट चेंज होती है ये यही होता है.
Right, sir, but that can we mention that?
No, ये चीज आपने मेंशन करनी ही नहीं है. आपने मेंशन करना है, इट इज अ पॉलिटिकल डिसीजन. सो इफ अ न्यू पार्टी विल कम इनटू पावर, दे विल टेक डिसीजंस अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर वो क्या बोलते हैं उसको, द विल ऑफ द जनरल पब्लिक, द मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द पीपल दैट दे आर रिप्रेजेंटिंग, दे विल टेक डिसीजंस अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट.
Popular mandate.
Yes, political mandate. Yes, that is the correct word. Choose your words very carefully. Yes, that is a correct word. Okay, so don't mention. See, before 2014, it was also occurring. If, for example, Congress is in the power at the center, now next government is BJP government. Obviously, they will change the name of the schemes. अब वो कांग्रेस की स्कीम्स का नाम क्यों रखेगी? Tomorrow some other party comes into power, they will again change the name. So that is a natural thing. That is nothing wrong in that. The only thing that you have to address is, आज मैंने स्कीम लॉन्च करी थी, 2 महीने बाद आपकी पार्टी वो गवर्नमेंट बदल जाती है एंड दे ड्रॉप दैट स्कीम. मैंने 50 करोड़ उस पर खर्च कर दिए. लॉस तो अल्टीमेटली इट इज द लॉस ऑफ द जनरल पब्लिक ओनली. We are working for the welfare of the people. So how will I tackle the loss that I suffered for rupees 50 crores or the administrative implications of that? Again, I will have to reissue, rebrand everything. So how to address that? That is the concern. If the features remain the same, the only scheme is continuing, only the name is changed. I am totally, as a civil servant, I will side with the government. I will totally side with the government. But at the end of the day, it is me who has to make sure that the scheme is effectively implemented. अब एक scheme है, मेरे अंदर 100 people काम करते हैं, right? Now, आज मैं उनको instructions दे रहा हूँ regarding XYZ scheme. कल को मैं दूंगा कि नहीं जी XYZ चली गई है, अब ABC scheme के बारे में सुनो. So how will those 100 people who are tasked with the implementation of the scheme, they will ensure effective implementation? They will get confused. Even
And
the
also,
civil
sir, the
servant.
people who are illiterate, or let's say from the
those
poor
are the
strata.
beneficiaries. I am talking about even the civil servants, they will face implementation issues. They will mix up the things. So how to address those aspects? That is my question. I have no issue in renaming. But if you change the scheme, the features of the scheme, now you are bringing this new health cards, right? So the people will ask, अब पुराने health cards का क्या होगा? मैंने तो नया बनवाया नहीं है, क्या पुराने वाला वैलिड रहेगा, कब तक वैलिड रहेगा? Now, if the particular person who is the in charge of this thing, he is himself not aware, how will he address the queries of the general public? Right? So think on those lines. What are the, as a civil servant, as the people who are tasked with implementation of the initiatives, what issues they will face? जनरल पब्लिक का तो ठीक है, समझ आता है, बट हम भी खुद भी इश्यूज फेस करेंगे. आई विल ऑल्सो मिक्स अप स्कीम्स. ठीक है, मेरे को अभी मेरी, फॉर एग्जांपल, आई हैव बीन इन चार्ज ऑफ अ पर्टिकुलर स्कीम फॉर द पास्ट 5 years. ठीक है, मेरे दिमाग में बैठ गई है वो स्कीम. अब मैं जब नई स्कीम इंप्लीमेंट करने जाऊंगा तो मैं बार बार पुरानी स्कीम्स की चीजों को भी बीच में लेके आऊंगा. सो दोज काइंड ऑफ इश्यूज, राइट? सो आई एम एंडिंग द.
Sir, can we say that the state is realigning the schemes with the center?
So that would not be a correct. Then now when you say that the state is aligning the schemes with the center, then why the need for a separate scheme? ठीक है, तो ऐसी स्टेटमेंट्स मत बोलना, ऐसी स्टेटमेंट्स मत बोलना जहां पर खुद ही फंस जाओ. ठीक है, सी, जब अभी जो आपके प्रेजेंट गवर्नमेंट है, जब वो बोलते हैं वी आर अलाइनिंग आवर स्कीम विद द सेंट्रल स्कीम, ठीक है, सो यू हैव टू कीप इन योर माइंड दैट बोथ द पार्टीज, they are the same party at the center and at your state also. ठीक है, obviously they will try to align. ठीक है, बट हमारा टास्क ये होना चाहिए, लाइक वी डिस्कस्ड अर्लियर, दैट इफ वी आर हैविंग अ सेपरेट स्कीम, सो सेपरेट स्कीम का नीड क्या है कि वी आर इंक्रीजिंग द नंबर ऑफ बेनिफिशियरीज और वी आर ब्रिंगिंग द कंटेक्स्ट, द स्पेसिफिक डिटेल्स इनटू पिक्चर. ओडिशा से रिलेटेड है तो नेशनल स्कीम में ओडिशा की जो आपकी ग्राउंड रियलिटीज है वो एड्रेस नहीं हो रही थी. सो वी आर ट्राइंग टू एड्रेस दोज ग्राउंड रियलिटीज. ठीक है, सो दैट इज द नीड ऑफ अ सेपरेट. ठीक है, so we are not repeating the same thing again in our scheme. We are providing something different. ठीक है, the major objective, the broader objective might be the same. ठीक है, but we are giving something else to a different set of people. The same thing can also be asked from you, that under PM Kisan, if you are providing certain financial amount, then why the need to have a separate same? For example, I asked you people, अगर 6,000 वहां मिल रहा है, 4,000 यहाँ मिल रहा है, 10,000 मिल रहा है, तो वो 4 क्यों देने की नीड है? जब 6 मिल ही रहा है तो 4 क्यों देना? ठीक है, why not use that 4,000 amount for something else? So these kind of counter questions can be asked from you. So you have to think on logical lines कि क्यों दे रहे होंगे 4,000 extra? Is that 6,000 not sufficient? ठीक है, फिर the counter question can also come. So this means that in the earlier regime, if they were providing say 4,000, so they were paying you less amount. ठीक है, तो ऐसे counter questions आते रहेंगे और इनसे डरना नहीं है. So there is no one specific answer for these kind of questions. But whatever you are trying to convey, it should be logical, it should be based on facts, it should be based on statistics, and it should not be political. It should be neutral. It should be for the general public. The language that you should be using, it should be constitutional language. It should not show your tilt toward any party. Okay, you should speak like a diplomat. right? So we are ending the session now. Maybe we will have one session tomorrow also regarding do's and don'ts during your interview. So we will be discussing that. Okay then. Any more doubts? Okay, so I am ending the session now. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.